Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, the BRICS formation is something that I have been singularly focused on.
I tell you, may you live in interesting times. I think this is interesting, spooky, and empire changing. I think we're watching the end of the American empire. There's a law called Gresham's Law. And Gresham's Law says bad money drives out good money. So this is bad money here. It's called the US dollar. I call it toilet paper today. And this is good money here. This is silver and this is gold. So what happened in 71, they took the gold out of this toilet paper right here. And in 64, they took it out of our silver coins. So Gresham's Law is in action today. America has been kind of a bully because we had the reserve currency of the world. The thing we're going to be talking about today is what happens if and when Mexico joins the BRICS. What are the repercussions? What are the shockwaves? What's going to happen? Or as they say in Hispanic, ¿qué pasa? What's going to happen?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, the BRICS formation is something that I have been singularly focused on for the last few years, certainly. And I think it's really very, very, very important. And, I'd like to first throw out that so many things are happening all around us. And while they're significant, these individual events in and of themselves have less significance than when you put them all together. And the things that are happening inside, the blunders, if you will, that are happening inside the United States only exacerbate the consequences that are happening and the realities that are happening outside the border. In other words, the US blunders, I believe, are inspiring the rest of the world, the international community, to unite in opposition to it and in joint establishment of mutually beneficial platforms of politics and economy and trade and currency and finance and culture and education and international security and all of these things that, as you mentioned, the bullying and the sanctions and the hegemony and the hypocrisy of the West, I believe, is coming to an end. And it is those types of actions by the West that I think have squandered the good graces that we have had for many years of the international community.
America has pissed off the rest of the world. We've been the bully with this thing. We're now a credit-based economy. In other words, we print fake money and we spread it throughout the world. But the rest of the world is actually producing the food, the gold, the silver, the machinery, and all this. So finally, the rest of the world said, enough's enough. So I remember years ago operating in South Africa. I love South Africa. But they joined the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That was the original BRICS. And now they're gaining force and momentum. And I think people have heard the word BRICS, but very few people know what caused the BRICS to form, Andy. What does it mean to us? Because otherwise, so what,
I think by the end of this discussion, people will certainly understand it. But you're right. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa comprise the BRICS. These are countries that are uniting in common interests and doing it without the bullying, if you will, of the Western hegemony. And they're beginning to set themselves apart from the rest of the world.
Why do you think they're so important today? I mean, they're the most powerful force in the world today.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, this coalition of countries standing up against the Western hegemony. And that's really what it is. It's not just Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You have well over a dozen countries that have already applied, such as Algeria and Argentina and Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Nicaragua, Turkey, Indonesia, Senegal, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Egypt, Kazakhstan, and the biggest one of all, Saudi Arabia, formally applied to the BRICS nations. So when you talk about this growing cohesion of countries, there are others that they're already set their eyes on. And in Brazil's backyard, you have Argentina. In Latin America, you have Nicaragua. All of these countries and their neighbors that are growing together are forming a massive, very imposing, not only from a GDP, but you put all these countries together and their military might is very, very strong as well. And those are the BRICS Plus. Now they're talking about adding more countries, including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Bolivia, Chile, Cuba, Ecuador, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela, Azerbaijan, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. The list goes on and on and on.
What that means is right now they're dealing in this. 1944, this became the reserve currency of the world right after World War II at the Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Like I said, this is toilet paper today because this is now fake money. So the rest of the world is saying, enough of you sending us your toilet paper. You take our materials, you take our production, you take this, and you send us this trash here. So that's what Andy is talking about. It's so crucial. Average person can't see it. So now can you go into the Belt and Road Project
Equally as important to being forced to take the dollar is if you are on the wrong side on the Western ideology, then you get sanctioned, you get kicked out of SWIFT. And the weaponizing of the dollar, I think, is what has accelerated the union of all of these countries. The SWIFT system is basically the oxygen that is needed for cross-border payments to breathe. In other words, you're not allowed to send your money from one country to another unless it routes through the SWIFT system, which is basically a computer system, if you will, or a message board system that allows banks to trade money back and forth and clearing through a US settlement bank system. So in order to trade dollars, you have to have access to the SWIFT system. And if you are kicked out of the SWIFT system, you cannot trade dollars. And if you can't trade dollars, you can't buy oil and you can't sell your goods globally. In essence, it isolates you. Well, unless, of course, you're trading your Iran and you're trading your oil to China for the petro-yuan bond, which is immediately convertible.
But didn't America exercise SWIFT? They punished a whole bunch of countries just recently.
Absolutely. No better example than what they did with Russia, kicking them out of SWIFT. And you saw what Russia did in retaliation. They are selling their goods in gold and in rupee and for ruble and for yuan, and they are sidestepping. It is this bullying, as you said at the beginning, it is this hypocrisy that is making everyone come to the table. I want to mention one thing that's really very interesting. We talk about the glue, right? The glue that makes all of this stick is the backing of a new system with commodities such as gold. So check this out. The gold holdings as a percentage of reserves, these are all countries that have either applied to the BRICS or are already in it. Venezuela, 82% of their reserves are in gold. Uzbekistan, 65%. Kazakhstan, 63%. Bolivia, 55%. Belarus, 40%. Turkey, 29. Turkey was the largest importer of gold in the world last year and has continued being the largest importer of gold. And as of last year, when I put these numbers down at the very end of the year, Turkey had 29% of their reserves in gold, and that's grown. Pakistan, 29. Kyrgyzstan, 22. These countries are accumulating the glue that will make this cohesion stick. Now, when we talk about the Belt Road Initiative, which is very important to the whole thing, right? There's several groups that are all tied together like this. The Belt Road, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the BRICS, and the Eurasian Economic Union. The Belt Road Initiative has every one of the 13 OPEC producing countries on the Belt Road, the largest infrastructure project in human history. It's all connecting through trade routes, if you will. For example, the north-south corridor that connects from Iran to India and allows Iran and Russia and India to trade without going around waters that are patrolled by the US Navy. It allows them to have the ability to reach each other much more quickly and without the Western influence. And all of these routes and all of these agreements are bringing the world together against the West.
It was called the Silk Road.
It's the exact same thing. It's more than that, too. You have this deal, and if you look at what China is doing, right now you have Iran and Iraq, of all countries who've hated each other for centuries, are currently in a brokered deal by China in the final stages of the first rail connection between the two states in history.
Found this video insightful? Hit subscribe, turn the bell on, smash that thumbs up, and dive into the links in the description below. Join our vibrant community to ensure you never miss a video. Your generous support fuels our passion. Thank you for watching. We love you.